A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. As the countdown to the 2024 election day continues, a remarkable trend is emerging across the United States. Americans are voting early in unprecedented numbers. This surge is particularly notable among Republican voters, who are responding positively to a shift in messaging from former President Donald Trump. For years, Trump had discouraged early voting, claiming it was fraught with fraud and chaos. However, this year, he has begun to advocate for early ballots, stating, "I am telling everyone to vote early." This change in tone appears to be resonating with his supporters, leading to a significant increase in early voting participation. According to reports, as of Monday, 17 million people had already cast their votes nationwide, with early voting now established in all key swing states. This marks a stark contrast to the 2020 election cycle, where Trump's rhetoric against mail-in and early voting created a climate of skepticism among his followers. Back then, many Republicans opted to wait until Election Day, which some analysts believe contributed to their losses in both the presidential and midterm elections. In states like Georgia and North Carolina, the early voting trend is breaking records. The Republican National Committee, under the guidance of Laura Trump, has invested heavily in initiatives aimed at encouraging early voting among Republican constituents. This strategic pivot is seen as an effort to rectify what some party members view as a critical misstep in previous elections. Political strategists note that early voting allows campaigns to focus their resources on mobilizing marginal supporters closer to Election Day. Sam Amy, a Democratic strategist, acknowledged that Republicans have improved their early voting turnout, stating, "They have done a better job of turning out their voters to vote early." This sentiment is echoed by various polls, including a recent Survey USA poll that shows Kamala Harris leading Donald Trump by a narrow margin among likely voters in North Carolina. Despite Trump's newfound support for early voting, he continues to express skepticism about mail-in ballots, labeling them as totally corrupt during recent campaign events. His mixed messages have led to confusion among voters about the integrity of different voting methods. Nevertheless, Republican voters seem to be embracing the early voting option, with reports indicating that in North Carolina, Republicans have cast more early ballots than Democrats for the first time in years. The shift in Republican strategy comes at a crucial time, as the Democratic National Committee estimates that 1.6 million U.S. voters abroad are eligible to vote in key battleground states. With the election fast approaching, both parties are ramping up their efforts to secure votes. Vice President Kamala Harris is expected to spend election night in Washington, D.C., while Donald Trump is set to record an interview with popular podcaster Joe Rogan, hoping to reach a broader audience. As early voting continues to unfold, political analysts are closely monitoring the data. Michael McDonald, a political scientist, cautioned that while Republicans are making gains in early voting, it remains uncertain whether this will translate into a significant electoral advantage. The early electorate can change from day to day as more and more people vote early, he explained. "We don't know if this is a shifting of furniture yet or an added strength for Republicans." In the wake of Trump's controversial remarks about military intervention against domestic opponents, the political landscape is charged with tension. As the election nears, both parties must navigate a complex web of voter sentiment, misinformation, and strategic campaigning. With early voting trends indicating a potential Republican resurgence, the outcome of the 2024 election remains uncertain, but one thing is clear. The political dynamics are shifting, and both parties are gearing up for an intense battle for votes in the coming weeks. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.